Hello and welcome. You're on India Today and this is Battle of Champions. Now we will be joined by a star India player Harbhajan Singh on our show this evening. But first up, the India-New Zealand game on Sunday has now taken the shape of a virtual quarter-final. That after Pakistan beat the Kiwis on Tuesday and have virtually assured themselves of a semi-final spot. Of course, the virtual quarter-final tag is based on the hypothesis that both India and New Zealand will beat the three lower-ranked teams in their group, and in which case only one between these two teams will make the final four cut. Here are all the permutations and combinations that you need to be aware of.
And all of Pakistan will celebrate, as will these two young men out there. They're a wonderful opening partnership.
First, India found themselves at the receiving end against Pakistan. Then New Zealand, despite a late fight with the ball, met a similar fate against the same opposition. The two victories have more or less sealed Pakistan's place in the semi-finals, while India and New Zealand are left in a tight spot. Virat's men in blue and Kane Williamson's black caps now face each other on Sunday in what could be a virtual quarter-final.
Plenty of permutations, combinations. We'll have to wait for that encounter that comes your way on Sunday. Meanwhile, going back to that game between India and Pakistan, or the India-Pakistan game was by and large played within the spirit of the game, with players from both sides exercising restraint during the high-pressure clash. But the days following Pakistan's win have seen some very unsavory comments being made by a few Pakistani players. Comments that have since gone viral and left the genuine cricket fan disappointed, who up until now treated these very players as legends of the game.
Pakistan fans, you've waited a long time for this moment. Take it all in.
The victory, their first ever against India in a World Cup game, sent emotions overflowing for people in Pakistan, also prompting some of their former cricketers to stoop to levels that was somewhat expected of them. First, Waqar Younis tried to give that victory on the cricket field a religious colour.
और रिजवान जिस सेंसिबल तरीके से जिस अग्रेसिवनेस भी थी, और सबसे अच्छी बात जो रिजवान ने की कि फिर उसने माशाल्लाह उसने ग्राउंड में खड़े होकर नमाज पढ़ी जो कि हिंदुओं के बीच में खड़े होकर, so that was really something very special for me.
After the massive backlash, the former Pakistan captain was forced to apologize. But that is when Mohammed Amir, a proven convict in spot fixing, decided to get some attention.
That's an absolute pearler.
Amir took to Twitter with a comment on Harbhajan Singh, to which the Indian spinner responded in a similar tone, which seemed like a friendly banter between two cricketers until then. But Amir decided to make it ugly with his comment, to which Harbhajan Singh reminded him of the no ball that the former left-arm pacer deliberately bowled in exchange of money in the now infamous 2010 Lord's Test.
Harbhajan Singh has
Amir went on a barrage of below-the-belt comments before Harbhajan Singh finally signed off with a visual of his six of Amir during the 2010 Asia Cup. The caption read, "Fixer ko sixer, chal dafa ho," that is, get lost. When Pakistan defeated India in Dubai in this T20 World Cup, the scenes on the ground were those of respect. Respect that Pakistan players have for Team India, and the respect with which Indian greats reciprocated. Strange as it may seem, the conduct of the players who won the match for Pakistan was dignified, but those who may have nothing to do with that win may only be undoing the good work done by those 11 men on the field. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Right, joining us live on the program now, star India off-spinner Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan, I'd love to talk to you about that India versus New Zealand encounter. But before I get to that, a quick word on that, things that have gone viral. It is that tiff between you and Mohammed Amir. What I want to know is that I've often seen you having a very good banter between Pakistani players on social media. What happened this time around? How did things go out of whack?
Who is Amir? I just want to know first. Who is Amir? What credential does he have? Who is he? I don't know him. He's someone who betrayed his own country and fixed that game in Lords, and he's suddenly jumping on this topic. where India lost that game against Pakistan, and he was just talking a bit too much. And I just gave him a fitting reply, that you are no one to get into all this. Yes, me and Shoaib Akhtar, we're going to go a long way. We talk, we obviously have done a lot of shows together. We have done a lot of even the entertainment sort of shows together. So we had our mentors. He jumped into it, and then I replied him in a nicer way, in a good way. And then he started saying a few things which was obviously unacceptable. And so I also replied, reminding him the incident what he's done at Lord's. So he's a disgrace. He's someone who didn't play this game fairly, and I don't want to talk to such person, and I don't want to know such people. And also want to urge their Prime Minister to open schools for them to learn how to conduct themselves and how to behave when elders are talking. Even if when we talk to Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, or any of their seniors, we give them the required respect. We never utter a word in front of them. But these guys, they have no sense, they have no class whatsoever. So basically, I just don't want to talk about him. He's no one.
Right. Valid point by Harbhajan Singh, and trust Harbhajan to call a spade a spade. He always played the game of cricket on the front foot. Why would you expect him to take a back foot here as well? Harbhajan, we'd love to move on from here because enough has been spoken on social media between the two of you. I'm getting back to that India versus New Zealand encounter. We're calling it a virtual quarter-final. Do you think that's a fair assessment to call it a virtual quarter-final, or are we being unfair to a team like Afghanistan, who we've seen can upset any team, especially in the T20 format?
No, it's not a quarter-final. It is a game against New Zealand. Of course, you have to play each game as, one game at a time. Afghanistan is obviously one of those teams can upset anyone, and you can't take them lightly. But yes, our first job should be to beat New Zealand, and I'm sure boys will do that. And after that, whatever game next they will play, they will look to play well in that game too. So we can't really say this is the quarterfinal, but yes, every game from here onwards will be very important for Team India, and I'm sure they are ready for it, and they will produce the right results as well.
Let me ask you, we've seen both India play against Pakistan and New Zealand play against Pakistan. Whatever you saw on the evidence of that, which team do you think is looking more primed to win that encounter between India and New Zealand?
Well, I think India is a very, very good side. Obviously, they didn't have the good day other day when they played against Pakistan. Yes, Pakistan played beautifully. They played much better than us the other day, and we came second. But I still back my team India to beat New Zealand, because knowing the kind of quality we have in our team in terms of batting, bowling, everything is filled with so much of talent. So they just need to go out there and showcase their talent and show the whole world what they are made of. And I'm sure this loss against Pakistan was obviously a wake-up call. And I'm sure they will look into all the aspects. What are the things they need to go. What are the things they need to rectify going forward? And I'm sure they will come back stronger in this tournament, and they will start from the next tie against New Zealand.
All right, Harbhajan Singh, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for those insights. Of course, we have 4 more days to build up to that very crucial encounter between India and New Zealand. But before we wrap, here's a reminder, don't forget to tune in to India Today. We have all the lowdown on the T20 World Cup. It'll be at 8:30 a.m. in the morning and 6:30 p.m. in the evening. See you then. Thanks so much for watching.